I feel like Ekko's always been in a weird spot so far as balance is concerned, because he's clearly a tank. Like, you look at his kit and it just says, I'm a tank. But then he's a mage. So he's given this, like, overpowered kit to compensate for the fact that his kit doesn't really make much sense, actually. Like, you look at his kit, you look how he plays, you look at everything, he's clearly a tank. That's why Tank Ekko is so popular. His entire kit just made more sense as a tank. So then they just jacked up his AP ratios, reduced his damage, and we're like, and now he's a mage. But he doesn't really play like a mage in anything other than you just gave him such high AP ratios that now he one-shots everyone. Nope, his kit was broken as a tank. Oh, it's designed to be an AP assassin. Okay, so what is it about his kit that to you says it was designed to be an AP assassin? Is it the fact that his W has a huge cast time and is best if you're a tank to zone for pressure? Is it the fact that his Q has a large boomerang time and is best if you're built tank so you can throw it into people and use it as a slow that boomerangs back? Is it his passive that gives him movement speed? Is it his ult that heals him, especially if he's lower on HP? His E, so his gap closer. Never before has an assassin had a gap closer. Yeah, that's the most not tank thing I've ever heard of. No one has gap closers. Oh, of course he had a crit. His execute? You mean the fact that once people are at low HP, every auto attack does % health damage? Yeah, that doesn't sound like a tank would never have % health damage to its chat. That's the most anti-tank thing I've ever heard of. Yeah, I mean, ignore numbers. You guys are like so focused on like the numbers and shit that you guys are failing to see the point. Fundamentally, ignore the numbers. Imagine everything in this kit dealt 0 damage, right? Would that kit make more sense as an assassin or more sense as a tank? When 2 of his abilities are backloaded and function better when you're tanky, when your passive gives you movement speed after you've done damage, imagine as if a tank dealing no damage, he'd be the worst tank. Yeah, it would be awful to have a tank that has a giant heal, plus untargetability, plus giant stun that can be used as an engage. Oh, that would just be awful, Twitch chat. Honestly, I actually think Ekko is broken tier. He was broken as a tank because his damage was stupid in addition to being tanking and having ton of mobility. Actually, do you remember that they actually had to start ruining, like ripping mechanics out because as a tank he just made too much sense? Even when they nerfed his damage to shit, what did people start doing? They just started going like fervor of battle on him. Fizz was the same way, but I feel Fizz was slightly different. Fizz has only had 2 runs where like he was best as a tank, and it I feel like for a lot of it, it wasn't even so much that Fizz was overpowered as a tank, it was just that tank items are overpowered, and Fizz did enough base damage that it was like, nah, fuck it. When champions are overpowered as tanks, a lot of the times it's not so that their kit makes the most sense as a tank. It more so comes down to the fact that like they do enough base damage and tank items are overpowered enough that, you know, you just go, yeah, fuck it, we'll play as a tank. That's actually, in my opinion, why things like Conqueror are extremely fucking good for the game, because it assures that no matter what, no matter how good someone is as a tank, no matter how much base damage they can't have, they can't just tank their way through. Honestly, I think Conqueror is one of the best things I've ever added for the game. Don't get me wrong, okay? I don't think Conqueror is actually good for the game. I think Conqueror is quite bad for the game. On the other hand, Riot is so terrible at balancing their game, honestly, and they are, don't lie to me, that I think Conqueror adds a necessary stopgap, something that says, basically, you can't ever get tanky enough on a champion to not take damage anymore. Let's say I try to do tank Fizz, right? You won't ever be able to tank Fizz hard enough that you can tank Jax while diving the AD carry. I think a lot of people don't remember that shit. when tanks could outscale bruisers by just getting so tanky that bruisers couldn't hurt them anymore. I mean, Jesus, do you guys remember during the tank meta? What always happens during tank metas? What always happens? Bruisers stop existing and people just start permatanking you. The biggest problem in balance right now is the fact that mages are beating tanks and doing it while being tankier than tanks. That is a big issue. I think if I'm jungling, I ban Ekko. Honestly, maybe I should ask for Ekko to be banned all the time. I saw Ekko's win rate and I kind of disregarded it. It's kind of like, oh, it's probably just a few one tricks or something. I'm not so sure it's like a bunch of one tricks anymore. I feel like Ekko is actually super duper top tier now. The amount of times he's kind of like tanked me. Like I'm playing Mundo in the jungle and like Ekko goes to 1v1 me and he just like face tanks me, just uses his W shield and just stands in front of me and autos me to death. Like the amount of times he's done that, I think to myself like, well, that ain't right. Like that's not normal. Ekko's ult heal, that gets reduced by healing reductions, right? It's not like one of those ults that bypasses healing reductions. See, the entire thing with Riven was supposed to be Riven was weak early game, had low health regen, but then they gave her normal health regen. Just don't feel like you get enough anything. Like it just, there's nothing. Like you look at any other champion, you've got time to do stuff, you know? Like when I'm playing against Darius, I have his Q to play around. I have his E to play around. I have his passive to play around. I have 3 things to play around, right? And potentially, if I have an invulnerability, I have his ult to play around. On Riven, what do I have to play around? Don't get hit by her instant 0 animation stun. Don't attack her instant 0 animation shield. The Fiora buffs did go through. You will never see that champion on my stream. I'm never gonna let Fiora into the game. I'm just never gonna do it. She's so broken. Her only weakness was lane pushing. And she does kind of kill turrets now pretty quick. Not like, oh my god, fast, but like, you can actually drop them now. Here's my actual opinion. Make Fiora's parry last 1 second. Make Fiora's parry last 1 second. Give it a 1 second duration. It would make it so using it as an attack speed / movement speed slow was actually weak as it's supposed to be. Right now it's actually like strong in a fucked up way. In fact, most people aren't even trying to stun with it. They're just ramming it into you because it just wins trades. Please die to Fizz. Don't die to Camille. Aww. To be honest, I'm kind of up fucked creek here. She's got an item advantage. She's got a double buff advantage. Now she's got a level lead. Not looking so great for the old Darius, Twitch chat. Well, I do have CS lead. You know what, Twitch chat? It's looking up for the old Darius. Why does Ajax have such a low HP 5 despite his healing being gutted to shit? Well, Riot was like, da. Did we nerf something on Aatrox because of his passive healing? Da. No, I don't think so. Da. Wait, did we? It's like a fucking meme. I think I forgot something. Oh, if you forgot it, it wasn't that important. Aatrox's health per 5 just sitting in the corner. Whoa. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Turret plating. No, no, no. Turret plating. Don't die without me. But now you can die. I'm out. I don't trust in this. Okay, I trust in it now. Oh, fuck me. I thought for sure that pull was in range, man. I just needed a heal, man. Legit one heal. I'm so tired of supports running from line of sight. They're just running from fucking nowhere. Then shield, shield, heal, shield. And all of a sudden, your dude's just fucking unkillable. And you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah, that feels reasonable. Can't think of any reason why that wouldn't feel reasonable. 2300 damage from a dude who I could never fight back against. Ah, Aaron's dead. The fuck's a turret? I'll go to the Nico player, even though he kind of abandoned me in the one play. There's one play that would have been absolutely incredible.